So I reviewed this once before, but now it's on Blu-ray. So I'm going to kind of review it again. But if you watch this review and you're like, I wish there was a little bit more depth to this, go onto the YouTube and look up the same title of this review, but where it doesn't say Blu-ray in the title, and see what I had to say when it came out. And it'll be similar but different. So this is a film entitled Thank You Very Much. This is a new 2023 documentary about the life of Andy Kaufman, who I first knew as Latka on Taxi, and then later realized that he did all this other stuff, and the layers of the Andy Kaufman onion still continue to be peeled back for me as I watch more things like this, read more things about this. There are several books about him. His best friend and writer Bob Zmuda wrote a book about him. Somebody else wrote a book about him around the same time. Bob Zmuda is involved in this documentary. This is directed by Alex Braverman, and it has a litany of stars who knew Andy Kaufman's friends, family, and stars who talk about who he was. This film attempts to get to the center of that Russian dollar, that center of that onion, or the man behind the curtain, to try to get at who was Andy Kaufman as a person when he wasn't performing. Was he ever not performing? What made him tick? What made him do what he did? And if you know much about Andy Kaufman, he did a lot in a relatively short amount of time, and a lot of it's, for me, really, really funny. It's debatable how funny it was if you're in the audience with him sometimes, because sometimes his whole thing was to just make the audience uncomfortable. He would show up at a comedy show and they'd be like, oh, it's that guy from Taxi. This is going to be great. He's going to do the EB-Die. He's going to do the Thank You Very Much. And he just sits there and reads the Great Gatsby in full, or until they pull him off the stage, or he does something that's just, it's so not funny that it is funny, that kind of thing. So in this, we have Bob Zmuda, we have Lynne Margulies, who is his longtime girlfriend, we have Steve Martin, Melanie Chardoff, Danny DeVito, Robin Williams. There's a lot of people. Bud Friedman, who was the owner and originator of the improvisation, the Improv, if you remember Evening at the Improv, which I used to watch a lot as a kid on A&E. All these people are in this. Some of it is culled from an earlier documentary. I think it is the I'm From Hollywood documentary. That's another documentary that Lynne Margulies made years ago about the Andy Kaufman's delving into wrestling, pro wrestling, which he played straight, but was funny and clearly an act. But a lot of people didn't realize that. They thought he was going crazy. That's wrestling fans in Memphis area thought he was this pretty boy Hollywood guy who's coming to town and cussing out all of our favorite wrestlers. That I'm From Hollywood documentary, very much worth hunting down if you can find it. So some of the interviews are older material, but a lot of it is not. A lot of it is new. A lot of the content in this is stuff I'd never seen before, having watched a lot of Andy Kaufman stuff, some of the stuff from his personal archives, family home movies, family photos, rare TV appearances, really rare audio stuff recorded on the set of Taxi when Andy Kaufman showed up in the guise of the Tony Clifton character, which is a whole story I'm not going to get into. And they basically threw him off the set, and you hear Judd Hirsch yelling at him and things like that. There's so much really interesting content in this. This is very funny. It's very sad because we lost Andy Kaufman to cancer far too soon, and it plays up the continuing some of the continuing myths that he and Zmuda concocted. The whole, did he die or not? Who was Tony Clifton? All this stuff, it's all in here. This is really good. It's 99 minutes. I wish it was longer. I'm not saying 99 minutes is too short. I'm saying it's just such a fun and fascinating subject that I could watch this kind of thing for hours. It's really well put together and edited. It uses a lot of Andy Kaufman's own words from various things he's done to either tell his story or comment on his life. It intercuts things from all the various media that he was involved in. It's got super early footage of him like performing in the early 70s in college theatrical productions, home movies of his from when he's a little kid, right up to footage of the last time he was seen publicly. Some private stuff is in there in terms of like home movies or home recordings and things. It's really, really well done, and it will serve the purpose in making you hopefully like the guy a little bit more, hopefully more interested in the guy, and also want to seek out more of his work, a lot of which is available. I know around the time that the Jim Carrey starring biopic Man in the Moon came out, a lot of Kaufman stuff started getting released on DVD, like Andy's Funhouse and some of the TV appearances he did and things like that, the Fridays appearances that he did. All of that is on there. There are other Andy Kaufman documentaries that get into things that this one doesn't. So this isn't the necessarily the definitive, watch this and you'll never need to see another one. But this is a really great introductory documentary. It's really good. This is one of those things I will tell you, they send me these Blu-rays to review and so I don't always keep them. Sometimes I give them away to friends or toss them or whatever. This is one I'm keeping because this is the second time I'm watching it. I enjoyed it just as much as I did the first time. And I will happily watch this again because it does go down so smooth, you know? So kudos to MVD and Drafthouse Films. I've mentioned that up front for putting out this Blu-ray. It may also be a DVD, but I got the Blu-ray. And director Alex Braverman. It's a really excellent film. Now, as far as the specs on the disc, it is available in 5.1 and 2.0 surround. Also has English subtitles. So if you want, I should have turned the subtitles on when there are the sections where Latka talks in his, just to see if they even tried to subtitle that or just put Latka speak, Gravas language. Extras are very lean on this. We have 20 minutes of footage that is not in the film, extra footage. It doesn't break down what it is on the menu, but it does on the box. I think the box might be slightly inaccurate. It opens up with home video footage of Kaufman looking into the camera and talking and describing what the movie he wants to make would be, which is how this film opens, slightly re-editing and recutting that with footage from Andy Kaufman's life. This is the unedited section of him talking about that, and it's on like black and white early home video, him sitting on a couch or in a chair at home or backstage somewhere. Then it goes to video footage that looks a bit older of him at the piano at home or somebody's house and a woman, and they're singing these silly like kid songs for a while, which was his thing. And that's just interesting to see. That's sort of like looks into what it might be like hanging out at a party with Andy Kaufman in his early fame time. And then we have footage from the Improv in LA. It says on the package that it was shot by Richard Bamer. I'm not sure that that's true, that he shot it. Maybe he set up the camera because he knew this thing was going on, but it was basically Andy Kaufman doing this thing called Has Been Corner, which apparently he used to do at the Improv, where he would pull out real or fictional people and basically, like a smarmy TV host, play up the fact that they haven't had success in a long time. And this was Richard Bamer, who I knew mostly as the owner of the Great Northern Lodge in Twin Peaks, but Ben Horne. But also he was one of the co-stars of West Side Story. So they get him to come up on stage. And this looks like it's late 70s, early 80s. And Bamer plays into it, shows that he's still a good actor because he probably fooled everybody in the room or most people there. And it's really funny and really dark. So it's really, that 20 minutes is really cool. That is really pretty much the extra on this. It has something called production stills. That's 2.5 minutes. It's just frame grabs from the movie. Some video labels do this. I don't know why. It's nothing you couldn't have done by hitting pause when you watch the film. They're not official production stills as far as I can see. It's just something that was thrown in there to have a special feature. Theatrical trailer, 2.5 minutes, and it's a really well done trailer. It made me want to watch the film initially. And then you get trailers for other MVD releases. 1982 Greatest Geek Year Ever. Excellent documentary. Clerk, which is the documentary about Kevin Smith and the making of Clerks, and The Go-Go Boys, which is not about what it sounds like. It is the documentary made by Golan Globus about the glory years of Canon Films back in the 80s and early 90s. So very nice release of a very good documentary, and I highly recommend this. This is, and I will also say in conclusion, thank you very much.